guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Izzy DeLeo, your soul energy alchemist, and I'm here to help you embrace your IZ-NESS. I apologize ahead of time. They're outside doing construction right outside this window, so hopefully you won't hear it, but anyway, we'll get started. Any of you who frequent social media apps are probably more than likely to have heard the reference attachment styles, okay? And in my last video, I briefly went over them. But today and in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I'm going to highlight each one in order to give you clarity on what they are and how they may be showing up in your life, so you can get the information you need to progress along your journey of transformation. Okay? Cool beans. So today I'm going to discuss 3 of some of the characteristics of the anxious attachment style. Numero uno. You are or have been accused of being an overthinker. I have been told this more times than I care to admit. But, intelligent, book-smart people like myself are natural thought processors. So for me, it was commonplace to analyze everything before I was able to become the observer of those impractical thoughts and detach from them. You see, the challenge lies not in the awareness of such thoughts, but when one gets emotionally swept away by them and into unconscious behaviors. And this usually manifests as overanalyzing the actions of others, usually in the post-communication of every relating experience in your life, from the short-lived random comment the cashier just made that you took personally somehow, to the recent ghosting by your latest crush. Hence moi. Your first instinct is to assume that you did something wrong. So you shift into self-blame and doing and action-oriented thinking. What did I do? How should I fix this? Why does this always happen to me? And why do I seem to be a magnet for bullshit? No, you are only reacting to your anxious pain body. See, when a situation doesn't unfold the way you expect it to, or, that catches you off guard, your sympathetic nervous system of flight, fight, freeze, or fawn kicks in. And you, if you are relating to this content as an anxious individual, you will usually fall under the responses of fight and fawn. Tongue twisters there. In fight, you may become, emotionally reactive or confrontational. Your heightened level of stress causes you to take action based on perceived threats that have been ingrained into your subconscious mind from a traumatic event or events, such as distancing yourself from others, going on the defense, seeking to control, argue, or demand reassurance. I am no stranger to distancing myself from both family and friends whenever I felt invalidated or unseen. With parents whose behaviors were not that of healthy individuals, I have zero tolerance for adult children. And so I'm quick to remove myself from that dynamic. I've come a long way back into my heart since my spiritual awakening began, but that doesn't mean I don't demand respect and mutuality in my relationships. Our deeply seated need for validation causes us to also exhibit a fawn response. As such, we interpret even the most neutral and ambiguous behaviors as a sign of rejection, disinterest, and fear of abandonment. So we make compulsive decisions to avoid any of it from taking place by accommodating everyone's needs or people-pleasing at the expense of our own, as to prevent conflict and manage loss by being compliant and deferential, but never truly understanding the personal cost. Numero dos. You struggle with honoring and upholding your boundaries. Boundaries are the best way to send the message that you love yourself. But for us anxious beings, this can have us feeling like enforcing them would be a deal breaker in our relationships, and our object of affection and love will disappear if we dare. So we use our fawn response to disregard and invalidate what we need and deserve in order to placate a false sense of reality, which activates the pain body. So in turn, we become even more clingy and overly dependent. We continue to accept, invite, and create the same results because demanding better is not a familiar response. We don't know the first thing about prioritizing ourselves first. Having no boundaries puts everything that we witness outside of ourselves onto a pedestal, okay? Immediately separating it from us, thereby reaffirming the fractured belief system that we are not enough and that love is unstable and unreliable, so you shouldn't ask for anything because after all, you're not worthy. Bullshit. If you treat someone like a celebrity, they will treat you like a fan. I accepted breadcrumbs like a pigeon in Central Park. That's in New York City, by the way. And I'm not a pigeon, and neither are you. Isn't it time you took back, your power and aligned with the notion from the awesome book title by Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck? Meaning what anyone thinks, obviously. So decide what your boundaries are when it comes to every aspect of your life and keep them high and tight like a duck's ass. Remember, you are responsible for teaching people how to treat you. So learn how to get comfortable with saying no. 3. You are always focusing externally. You ruminate on what someone else is doing, thinking, and feeling. Your attention is always pushing onto, which, if you know what I teach by now, causes the other to pull away. This push-pull energetic exchange cannot favor closeness, period. Even if you are not coming at them physically, just merely thinking about them obsessively is sending them the message of neediness and desperation. And I'm sure you guys know what that feels like. For example, when someone is really extra or you're receiving uncomfortable attention from someone you're not interested in, the energy is palpable and you are turned off. That's exactly what your energy is doing. So keep this in mind when all you do is fixate on someone or something else. The outcome. And this is all done energetically and subconsciously, by the way. However, it has just as much of an impact as if you were in their face. This develops feelings of suffocation and pressure on the partner's friends and family end of things, often leading to frustration and retraction. And this external focus gives everything in our outer world the power to affect us, subjecting us to the highs and lows of any given moment, which we know as the fear-based, polarized, addictive ego. So unless we bring awareness to those ill-serving patterns, we are taking action from and pour back into ourselves, we will continue to experience the same outcomes, inevitably leading to a breakdown of communication, trust, and the guaranteed end of yet another relationship. It is a spiral of fear that will revisit you over and over again unless you redirect your intention inward and draw your attention to how it is that you feel, okay? Remember what I said before, there isn't anything out there, okay? Reality is only mirroring your inner world. As within, so without. As above, so below. So pull back and keep your energy inside, standing in your own frame. And with this energetic work over time, you will pierce the veil of the 3D limiting beliefs realm of duality, okay? Now, in closing, your attachment style determines how you are affected by your outer experience. And if you did not receive healthy modeling, guidance, and support by your parents or caregivers, that left you with unresolved, confusing, and unsafe emotions. And since you didn't possess any self-awareness or insight of such needs as a young child, a healthy, secure attachment style was never formed. So you react to these circumstances, the way you were expected to. And isn't that a relief? Knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Wow! With this resonance, you can now become the watcher of the self you've developed a form identity around. Acknowledge the barriers that you have built against unconditional love. Remove them from your body without judgment and let go of any expectations. Surrender to the flow of your incarnation and go about your day by removing your attention off of it and onto you. Set the fear and yourself free. Bye, Felicia. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. Please like this video and subscribe if you are, digging my vibe. Our awakening unfolds like an onion, revealing all that we are so that we can unconditionally love ourselves as a soul. It is a process, and the journey is the destination. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And they appear in order to hold a candle onto what needs to be transmuted so that our divine light can permeate our energetic field. And when that student is really ready, the teacher will disappear. I thank you all so very much. Peace, love, and rock and roll.